Rocknicks are humming in the dead of the night. Electric bills climbing, ain't feeling right. Hash rates dropping, profits thin as air. I'm digging for gold, but there's none down there. I got the crypto mining blues, feeling like I just can't choose. But there's a spark in the AI glow. Rent my computer, let the profits grow. Once I was king with my GPUs. Now I'm stuck paying the power dues. Every coin I mine feels heavier than lead, but I hear whispers of a future ahead. I got the crypto mining blues, feeling like I just can't lose. Switch my power to the AI flow, turn this burden into a glow. I see the light, it's flickering on. AI's calling my machines to respond. No more digging in the blockchain dirt. This pivot might just heal the hurt. I got the crypto mining blues, but I'm stepping in brand new shoes. The AI train's on a steady roll, gonna wreck compute and regain control.
I was digging deep in the digital ground, hoping for treasure, but nothing was found. The rigs were buzzing, the heat was real. Electric bills biting like a thief who steals. The crypto mining blues got me feeling low. The profits are gone, where did they go? But there's a light shining through the haze. Renting compute might just save my day. I stacked up GPUs, thought I'd strike it rich, but the market's a beast with a wicked glitch. Hash rates climbing, rewards falling flat. Chasing that coin, I'm chasing a cat. Crypto mining blues got me feeling low. The profits are gone, where did they go? But there's a light shining through the haze. Renting compute might just save my day. AI knocking, it's a brand new game. Whispering sweet that it knows my name. Ran out the power, let it learn and dream. A smarter hustle, a brand new scheme. Now my GPUs hum a different tune, training models under the cyber moon. No more digging, no more feudal race, just AI visions lighting up the space. Crypto mining blues got me feeling low. The profits are gone, where did they go? But there's a light shining through the haze. Renting compute might just save my days. Now my GPUs hum a different tune, training models under the cyber moon. No more digging, the space.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Good to see you guys. Appreciate you guys for being here. Not too many of you guys here tonight, but that's okay. Like I said, most people are watching it on repeat anyway. So for all you people that are watching on repeat, thank you. Appreciate you doing that. Let's see who is here. We got Mass Boost. We got Bleach. We got Nah City. And we have others here. They just haven't chimed in yet. But again, appreciate you guys being here. This will be the regular scheduled time. So, anyway, but, it's definitely, interesting week. Denise. Oh, welcome from Indonesia. Good time for you, I suppose. Happy Sunday morning to you. I did, as I mentioned last week, my Ford Escape died. Transmission died. We did sell that to a mechanic friend and got more for it that way. Although I did get some offers later on that were for more, but whatever. What's done is done. It's fine. But I did pick it up on Monday night and very happy with it. Only a couple of little hiccups, I guess, after I picked it up. One is the car display doesn't automatically change between night and day. You know, normally it dims automatically. For some reason, that doesn't appear to be working. Not really too worried about that. I usually keep my dash at a low level anyway, like the speedometer and all that kind of stuff. I keep that at a low level anyway. And the display, I wanted to have in dark mode anyway as well. So I just adjusted that the way I wanted it. So it's all good on that. But one really silly thing that I found, well, thanks FA Crypto. I appreciate that. The one thing that's really weird is, well, it doesn't matter. These aren't my normal sunglasses that I've been wearing lately, but I have a set of Oakleys. These do not fit in the sunglass holder. Come on, Mazda. And I've seen complaints about it all over the internet. Like, oh, you got to put it in just the right way. I have tried every orientation of my sunglasses to see if I can get them to fit, but they don't fit. So it's a minor qualm. But yeah, I've been, I really like the infotainment system that they have in there and the way that it works. It does have a touch screen, but most of it is just done via a knob and selectors. And I actually like that because it's right next to your hand when you have it like on the armrest. So you just have like it's like having a remote control. So I really, really like that. But one thing, cause I wanted to get 17-inch wheels, not 19-inch wheels. Cause everybody that I know that has had 19-inch wheels, sometime in the first 5 years that they have the car, they have to replace one of the rims because it either gets dented or cracked. And living in Chicago area, we have potholes, lots of them. They are a reality. If you hit a pothole on a 19-inch rim, the odds of you cracking or denting a rim is infinitely higher than on a 17-inch rim. You might, if you hit a pothole just right, you might damage the tire. You might get like a bubble on the sidewall or something and have to replace the tire. But the tire's a lot less expensive to replace than the actual wheel itself. So anyway, so I really wanted to get that. So I didn't want to go too high up in packages. So I went with the preferred package, which came with Android Auto, but I did add a Android Auto wireless adapter to the car. And that was a great addition. So that's really, really nice. Yeah, just adding little things. Oh, I also, I didn't even know these existed until I started looking for one. A 12-volt adapter, which obviously they're a dime a dozen, but ones that come with cables and retractors built in. That's cool. I mean, it just keeps everything nice and clean. And you know me, I'm not exactly I don't keep the neatest office or anything. My desk is a mess. But my car, I was like, it's kind of nice just being able, yeah, I'm not going to have cables everywhere. And So that was a great addition. So yeah, the only thing I have left to add is I'm going to add, like, they're not going to be WeatherTech, but the WeatherTech type mats. So I'm going to probably get, I'm 99% sure I'm going to get the Tux mat. I did some research on aftermarket mats, and yeah, everything I've read about the Tux mats they are like super, super nice, and they stay looking like new. A lot of these other ones don't. They're kind of built to be more in like rugged, and they do protect your car great, and they work really well, but they're never like that nice black. And I've got black leather in the car, and yeah, so I want those to be nice where I can actually wipe them down and they're going to be black. So anyway, so that will be the last addition I think that I'll make to the car. But yeah, definitely happy with it. Gets a little bit better gas mileage for my 100-mile round trip each day to work. So that's been kind of nice. And oh, the one other thing, which is, I mean, most of you probably wouldn't even notice, but for whatever reason, the door panel itself, the door up to the window, is a little bit higher. And so when I normally rest my arm, instead of resting it down here, it's up here, and shoulder gets a little sore. So I'm still adjusting my seating position on that. But anyway, definitely kind of fun having a new car again. It's been quite a while. Well, almost 10 years since I've had a new car. So yeah, don't like the fact that I got a payment, but I'm paying it off in 3 years. It's on 2.9% financing. So I could have paid cash, but didn't want to cash in any crypto. Didn't want to take from any cash I had in accounts. So I think this is good to do it the way I'm doing it. Plus, I make more than 3% on my money when it's just in a savings account anyway. I should say in a money market account. For now. All right, let's see who else showed up. We have Northern Crypto Tech showed up, and Bakes and Eggs and Hash, S. Chang, and Amplifier Gaming. Good to see you guys. Appreciate you guys showing up. Yeah, make sure air pressure is spot on. Low air pressure equals bent rims. Yeah, I mean, I keep an eye on it. That's the one thing about tires. You have to check them. You have to check them. You can't just look at them and go, oh, they look okay, because they're not always okay, even though they look okay. So, but yeah, definitely check your tire pressures every so often just to make sure. But yeah, I had my wife, I don't know if she never had a bent rim. She had a damaged tire from a pothole on her car. Her car, I think, hers has 18 inch, not 19 inch, which I think is a pretty big difference. My son's car, though, he had already cracked a rim, and he had 19 inch rims on his car. Yes, that's why they make TPS sensors these days, but TPS sensors don't go off until they're pretty darn low, like low 20s. So you've already lost 10 pounds of pressure at that point. Actually, that's the other nice thing about the car is I do have remote into, status of the car and such. I was just actually going to look to see. I don't know if it tells me I don't think it tells me the actual pressures of the tires, but I was going to look and see if it tells me. I don't think it does. It tells me fuel odometer. I've already have 451 miles in the car. It tells me the doors, and hazard lights. That's pretty much it. And I can do a remote start on it, which is kind of cool. But it does not, it allows me to do like remote hazard lights and such. Remote lock, remote unlock. Yeah, it's cool. I was just looking to see what the remote was telling me is like. So yeah, and then I've set up a whole bunch of things on the car. interestingly enough, it doesn't automatically lock the car when you walk away from it. That's not the default. So I set that up. There was a whole bunch of different settings that I changed in the system to suit my needs the way I want it set up. So I was pretty happy that it had all those. But anyway, I thought I'd start out with that, let people kind of trickle in. And but yeah, that was kind of a big part of my week. Oh, it was interesting. So so I started last Thursday shopping for the car. Went out there and they said, well, we need a down payment. And I said, well, I kind of want to think about it. And the next day I said, yep, I want to move forward with it. So Friday night, we dropped off a down payment check, which is just a good faith measure. And then Saturday, nothing happens because that's like the last Saturday of the quarter. So nobody's going to be moving cars around, but they needed to do a trader deal, a dealer trade with another dealer in order to get the car that I wanted. With the pack, because I didn't want to pay for all this extras. Plus, the one that they had a moonroof that I didn't really care about, so I didn't really want to pay $700 for a moonroof, as well as it had white leather interior instead of the black leather interior. I really didn't want the white leather interior. Anyway, so they were able to finally get it on Monday, but I called them. Saturday they told me the one dealer they were trying to trade with said no. And then Monday I asked, how are things going? Like, oh, we're still trying, I said, well, as I said on Friday, if you don't have a car today, because tomorrow's the end of the quarter, I'm going to find wherever this car is, and I'm going to go to that dealer and I'm going to buy it. I want to buy it from you guys, but that's what I'm going to end up having to do. Because I figured that the deals weren't going to be as good. Of course, we got into fourth quarter and the deals got better by $250. Whatever. Is what it is. But anyway, anyway, that's all to say, when the guy was leaving and they're supposed to be like, oh yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I could tell he was a little annoyed, just slightly annoyed. Cause he's like, man, you really like put our feet to the fire, like to get this car today. And I was like, yep. I didn't say I'm not sorry about it, but that's what I was thinking. I just said, yep, needed it today. So anyway, to me, it was amusing that he even said something about it. Like I said, it just seemed like he was a little annoyed, little annoyed, not a lot, a little bit. Anyway, I got a kick out of it anyway. All right, let's see. What are you guys going to say? Bleach broke a belt. Well, that sucks. Well, at least belts are pretty cheap. They just sometimes, depending on which belt, it takes either it takes a bit of effort or it takes a bit of time for a mechanic to do to replace it. Mass Boo says mine actually reads tire pressures. That's nice. I don't think mine does. At least it doesn't remotely. I'll have to look in the car and see if it actually does that from within the car. I haven't looked. I've been playing around with a bunch of different screens. That's one of the other things. It's basically a menu-based system, like lots of things are. But the weird thing is that in information screen, when you go to fuel economy, it brings up a screen. And I'm like, there's more screens than this under it. What is it? So then you hit the selector button when you're in that screen, when there's really nothing to select, except on the left, it has like a little icon that says menu, which is really odd because you were just in the menu and you selected to get into this. So you hit the selector and it brings you into the menu of that section. So instead of just bringing you into the menu of that section, it brings you into a default spot. And then you have to hit something to go to a different spot on the, in that section. So what I was looking at was, mine has, cylinder deactivation. And I know it's very polar. It's like Android Auto and not Android Auto, Android and iPhone. It's very polarizing. Some people don't really think much of it. Some people hate it. Whatever. It has it. So I wanted to kind of take a look to see when it was deactivating the other cylinders. And it has a screen to do that. And so it just took me a little while to figure out how to get into that screen. But anyway, let's see. TPMS is usually a good 6 psi low before it sounds an alarm. For low profile tires is not good. Exactly. I mean, that's, again, having 17-inch tires, the profile on them I think is 65. So pretty, you know, it's not really a low profile tire at 65. You know, you're pretty much getting low profile these days, like around 50, 55 or 50. So LOL, he felt played. Yeah, I guess kind of. Hey, I know what I want. I was literally telling him what I was going to do. He had the opportunity. Would it have been better if I just went to another dealer and bought a car? I don't think so. And the interesting thing about it was, I told this to, that was the GM that said that to me. The other guy was like his right-hand man. And so I had told him, and he's like, yeah, that seems totally reasonable. So all I was doing Monday was reminding them of what I said I was going to do, and that I was still going to go ahead and do that. So like I said, I was kind of doing them a favor, because like I said, otherwise I would have been driving up to, honestly, one of the two dealers that they were trading with. So one of them was, it was interesting that they got it from Countryside, because I didn't think Countryside had it, but it was either going to be Napleton Oak Lawn or Wilkins, which is in Elmhurst. It's going to be one of those two. But anyway, enough talk about that. I talked about the accessories, but yeah, like I said, enjoying a new car. Again, I look at cars as transportation. I want them to be comfortable. I want, you know, certain minimum things in the car. I do always want leather seats or leatherette, not cloth, because I like the easy wipe up as opposed to cloth. Yeah. So yeah, it's nice to have it. So I'll probably have this car for another 10 years would be my guess. That's the plan. Hopefully my wife's car will last another 3 years, so we won't have to have 2 car payments at the same time. And probably when we replace hers, probably we'll get an electric vehicle would be my guess. But we'll see. We'll see. I did actually look at the CX-50, but all I can say is it was difficult because I have long legs. It was difficult to kind of like move my feet past the steering column in that car. And yeah, so I did not particularly like the CX-50 the way, once I got in it, I was fine, but getting in and out of it on a daily basis, I'm like, nah, CX-5 is the way to go. Did learn the CX-50 hybrid though has the same hybrid engine that is in the Toyota RAV4. That was pretty, that would be a pretty cool car to have. I mean, you got the reliability of a Toyota engine and the nice interior of a Mazda, which is generally more upscale than a Toyota RAV4. So yeah. Alrighty. Well, the rest of the week work was like really, really bad. Really, really busy. I shouldn't say bad. It was really, really busy. And probably going to be for the rest of the month would be my guess. But we have been hiring, which is good. We have more people. We just got to get them trained. And then hopefully we can give some of these guys some breaks because they're working constant 10-hour days plus Saturdays, which has been rough. So definitely feel for them. But work calls for what work calls, unfortunately. And that's what we've had to do recently. And but yeah, we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. And customers at least are happy with us. And that's always a positive. Definitely a positive. But didn't really leave too much for much else this week. I got to start finding time to do some videos. But on the video front, one of the ones I've been dying to do has been everything having to do with power. Because as you know, I replaced the heat pump. I'm sure you're tired of hearing about that, but I want to do a final like video of, or at least a second to final video on it, where I can go over the results of the community solar. I still don't have a bill from the community solar company. And they told me they were going to get me a bill this month. I actually got an email that says you're going to get your first bill in September. Where is it? We're into October. We're on October 4th. Okay. Still no bill. I check every day to see if I'm going to get a bill. So Clearway, what's going on? I know people are like, why are you complaining about not getting billed? Because I want to do the content. That's why I want it. And at that point, I'll like start pushing and affiliate links and stuff like that on it. I just want to do it once I've proven like exactly what I've been talking about is actually proven out in actual numbers. I can show everybody what it actually is, as opposed to talking to something that is theory at this point. Now, it's not totally theory because I've gotten the credits, but the credits are only half the equation. How much are they billing me for those credits? If they give me that much in credits and then end up billing me for the same amount, which they won't, but I want to be able to show both sides of it, and I don't have that. Now, the other thing that's really weird, ComEd. Okay, the last bill I received, the closing date on it was August 4th. My last bill I paid for was in the middle of August was when I paid for that. It was due at the beginning of September. The one that would normally happen at like September 4th, September 5th, that time frame, we're a month beyond that. We're actually at the point where I should be closing the next month, and I haven't gotten the bill for the previous month. What's going on? So I'm thinking with all the changes I've been making, I think I broke ComEd's billing system, at least with regards to me. So maybe I should just stop complaining about it and just hope that they never bill me anymore. Of course, 6 months down the road, they're going to figure it out and then try to back bill me for everything. But it's just really, really strange. So I don't know if they haven't sent me a bill because I have this change in effect with the heat pump. So that change in billing. So maybe they're saying until we have that in place, we're not going to send you a bill, instead of sending you a bill under the old rate and then send you a new bill with a credit from that. So I'm not sure if it's that or if I haven't gotten the next credit for community solar, because it seems like that was the reason why I got delayed on the last bill a little bit. So I don't know. I guess it'll happen when it happens. And when it happens, they better at least give me, the normal time to pay. And I guess I should just be thankful that they haven't taken the money out of my pocket and I can earn a few extra cents on interest on the money in the account. So, all right, let me go back and check. Until the lifters go bad. Oh, are you talking about because you think Mazda's lifters go bad? So depends on how you do cylinder deactivation. I think that's what you're referring to. And this particular one, when it deactivates the cylinder, it just takes the gas out. It continues to move. So it shouldn't affect the life cycle of the lifter. The only thing that people think, and again, it's science, but not actual results. Nobody can actually say that this has happened on a Mazda. They're just talking in general, is that it tends to have carbon buildup in those two cylinders that are deactivated. So I don't know. Time will tell. We'll see. And then Mike Hill said the profile of the tires have become like a small mini donut as compared to the larger 14 or 15 inch tires, which have become a nightmare on rims being cracked or hitting a pothole or bent rims. Yeah. I mean, everybody's like, oh yeah, pay extra for these wheels. And I'm like, no. I've learned my lesson. They look cool. Definitely the next model up here. Actually, this is the car I got. Let me, yeah, that's the car I got. So, and these are the wheels. The next model up is the carbon, and it wouldn't have come in this blue. I really like this blue. As you can tell by my logo and everything you see here, I like blue. I like blue. Anyway, the nice thing about the wheels, yeah, they were 19-inch wheels, but they were all blacked out. So then the other thing I looked up was, okay, how easy are these black wheels, these black chrome wheels, easy to scratch off the black finish? And they're like, yeah, it happens. The black chrome the blackness of that chrome can come off if you get scratched, and can become very obvious. And I was like, okay. These are like a gray. They're not like a bright silver. So I do like these wheels. But anyway, Bleach says they are dry cylinders. It will score the cylinders after a while. Fuel lubricates the cylinders. There's something that they've done to make sure that that doesn't affect it. Anyway, I forget what it is, but they've addressed that particular concern. But again, like I said, time will tell. I'm not an expert on it, but as Chang, so ComEd. I think ConEd is a different utility, but ComEd, C-O-M-E-D, doesn't do billing anymore. They haven't billed me since the middle of August. So go figure. And the what's the word I'm looking for? The community solar company, Clearway, has not billed me yet. And I have at least over $800 in credit so far. And it was like a little over $400 each month. And yeah. So we'll see. Coating the pistons, yeah, probably. Like I said, I didn't look into it. One thing that I did talk to them about, there's no way to turn off cylinder deactivation, but I asked them, I said, well, if I go into sport mode, would it be less likely for it to go into cylinder deactivation? He's like, I don't know, but it would make sense. So could always do that. And again, as with most modern transmissions and computer systems within cars, it adjusts to your driving. So if I drive more aggressively, the cylinders won't deactivate as much. So I don't know. We shall see. Hey, if it does it within the first 3 years, get a new engine. All right. So my GPU rental over this past week did pretty well. Everything was rented except for all of my 5090s. None of my 5090s. Yes, Bleach, I'm sure you could get a programmer that could do it. But then of course you might, your warranty, your warranty may be void at that point, possibly. Anyway, so they were good this week. I made over $800 this week, which is a little bit lower than I have been. I've been up like around 860, 870. That range is where I had been the last couple weeks. So down a little bit, but not gonna complain. But like I said, not being able to get any of the 5090s rented. So I am seriously thinking about moving my unverified 5090 onto Flux. It sounds like they want them, but I know one other guy that was trying to do it and he was having issues. And when people tried to help him, He was like, I'm done. He just put the 4090 back in and was done with it. So I'm kind of thinking I may give that a shot tomorrow and see what happens. See if I can get it up and running. I'm going to save the drive and then I'm going to move. I have another drive. I'm going to install a different drive in there. Yeah, I may, you know what? I could actually probably just leave them both in there. Yeah, I could do that. Because it has two M.2 spots. So I'll probably just install it and then in the BIOS change what the actual default drive is to boot from and give that a shot. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll just have to make sure I don't install it on I install it on the correct drive. That would be good. Anyway, we'll see. That's one of the things I'm thinking about doing tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to do a video on it or if I'm going to just live stream while I'm doing it. Don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. If anybody be interested to watch that kind of thing. But yeah, so the rentals have been good. Render. So Render recently opened up their oh, Bleach, you put it back to stock. They'll never know. Yeah, except if I'm not the one programming it, I gotta get somebody else to program it. That's the thing. So, oh, I see what you're saying. Get an actual programming unit. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I like your thinking, Bleach. All right, where was it? Oh, on Render. So they had a call out to people who, hey, anybody interested in deploying on Render? So they have a render node and they have a compute node. And I rolled out on the compute node. And I had it running all August. And I got two render. Renders around, well, it's not even at $4. It's below $4. But let's just say $4. I got $8 for having a 5090 on Render Compute for the entire month. I'm like, what the hell? So we'll see if I continue. I am going to see where the next payment is because that's redonkulous. I absolutely can make more on lots of other platforms. Certainly one of them being Vast. So, but if this next month gets better, then maybe I'll look at seeing if I can move some other 5090s over to it. But right now I think it's on, you still have to get invited for each rig. I haven't looked into it because I want to see what this does next month. I mean, I was of the impression that I was going to be making a lot more. Let me just double check where we are. Make sure they haven't deposited any other render. I haven't looked at it for a few days. Yeah, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. I had originally bought a different render token by mistake. And so I got paid 2, but I had bought 1.24. Actually, I bought a little over 2 of this other one, and now I've moved them both over to the regular render token. So, yeah. So we'll see how that goes. I thought it was worth a good experiment. I know other people have gotten paid more. That's for sure. Because there is a wallet where you can see all the payments that have been made. And yeah. Nice Lambo. Yeah, I just got that. Not the Lambo, the car that's shown. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, cool, hobbyist. Well, appreciate you dropping in. Digital Jackson, good to see you. Or is it Jackson Digital? Whichever it is. Appreciate you being here. Dipping my toes in Octa, not many dual 5090 rigs, so I thought I'd corner the market, but they're just not getting rented much. Yeah. That's what I've been finding with Octa. That's what I found with was it Quick Node? What the hell was that? QuickPod. I couldn't remember what it was called. But it was pretty much the same way with QuickPod as well. And here, let me go back to that. Yeah, there's just a lot of these smaller platforms aren't being not even close to fully utilized. The bigger platforms like RunPod and TensorDoc and Vast are all getting used over 50%. It's not fully deployed or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but there's over 50%. And if you get on a long-term job, you're golden. And that's kind of where I'm at with most of my rigs, that they've been on longer term jobs, which is nice. So yeah. All right. Shoot, I just lost the page ahead. Up there it is. So one of the other things I've been thinking about, Jackson Digital says, well, hang on. Rizzo 529, good to see you. Yes. Abe Froman, Sausage King of Chicago. All right, let me see. Let's see. They don't have the software yet. Who doesn't have this? Oh, don't have the software yet for the 5090s, you mean? Yeah, they have it. They just need to they need to modify what they have so that it works with the new GPUs. And some people have changed that, some people haven't. Quick Note, new Microsoft product. What is that? Seems 4090s are in higher demand for these rental sites. Yeah, because everybody's lazy and they're like, they work. The 5090s aren't going to give me that much more performance. I don't need that much more memory that a 5090 offers. So yeah, I'm just going to do a 4090. So I get it. I get it. Eventually that will change. So Jackson says, oh, I had a really great AI rental for a few hours, but it calmed down and was just getting rented for Quai mining. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these platforms, that's what they're, I mean, Clore is another one. You know, that, but I think a lot of that is mining. Bleach said, I heard most Windows-based, the 5090s, not as much has been done with them yet. Oh, well, like I said, I'm on Linux, so... oh, you called QuickPod Quick Note, LOL. Got it. Yeah, I couldn't remember. I said Quick Node, actually, is what I said. I can see how that would be thought of being Quick Note. But yeah, I meant Quick Pod. But yeah, at this point, I had planned on buying, and I've talked with Panda about it. I know what he's doing. I talked about what I was going to do. We both knew that we were planning on getting the same server case. So that is still in the thought, but with where things are right now, I'm struggling to say that I want to make that investment. I would rather make that investment when more people have switched over to 5090s and do the 5090s. I don't want to do 4090s because 4090s are previous generation. I can't buy them new. They're going to cost about the same amount as 5090s. Yes, they get rented more, but my point is that when people start changing over, the 4090s are basically going to get deprecated at some point, I think within the next 6 to 8 months. And I'm not saying that they're just going to go away. They're not going to go away. It will slowly transition to being more 5090s. So I don't know. So right now I'm kind of in a wait and see. plan. I also haven't decided if I'm gonna go with Turin or Genoa based. Turin is PCIe 5, but is considerably more expensive. And I don't really think right now there is a major difference in performance between the two. And so what I need to do is I need to do the math where, okay, if I buy Genoa and then replace it with Turin when the next thing comes out after Turin, will it cost me less to buy two things at whatever like the Genoa price is now? Because I'm thinking Genoa right now is about half as expensive as Turin. And if it is, that means when the next thing comes out for Turin, then Turin will be about half as expensive. And so I can always replace it and be no worse off. And if Genoa is doing just fine, I don't need to replace it until it's not. I mean, right now I've got 5060 Ti's that are on PCIe 3 8 lanes and being rented consistently. So the latest and greatest is not always necessary, especially when it comes to PCIe. So those are kind of my thoughts on that. I do really want to do it. Like really want to do it, because that would be like pretty much it for what goes in my basement. I will have used up when I say used up all available power, that's if everything's rented and being used at TDP. That will basically be all I can do in the basement as far as heat dissipation and on a 200 amp circuit. Or I shouldn't say on a 200 amp circuit. On 330 amp circuits. I could put in a 430 amp circuit, but I want to be able to charge my car when I do finally get an electric vehicle at night, along with pulling, 90 amps. So yeah, I don't want to, that's already going to be a lot at night. So we'll see. We shall see. One of the other things that, I talked about, let me go back to the chat, then I'll move on to that. Yeah, this crap is so expensive. Yes, it is. For people who think, I mean, you've done it, hobbyists, where yes, you take some existing stuff and what do you need to do in order to make it work? So like right now, I've done 2 salad rigs from old mining motherboards and they're getting rented a little bit. I mean, obviously salad isn't where it was. I think right now, I checked earlier today, nothing was rented on salad for me. All 3 of my rigs were unrented. Yep, same thing. Last thing was rented 15 hours ago. And the other ones are over a day ago. And I did just check them, so they're both running, they're both up. They've been updated. So there's no technical issues with them. It's just there's no jobs for them. Like I said, unfortunate. So I've earned 3.4 cents over the last 24 hours. But I've still made $23 in the last 30 days. So it's something. So yeah. But yeah, the stuff is very expensive. That server case that Panda has, I'm pretty sure is $3,600, or at least it was. But that's actually, once you start adding in power supplies and risers and slim SAS cables, all of that, and a frame to put it on, you're pretty much almost at the cost of a server case, because that stuff's expensive. If you go cheap on it, you're gonna pay because there's been issues. Let's just say the cheap risers, we always call them risers, they're called host adapters. Those have varying quality, and you want to make sure you get a good one. But yeah, so like I said, I am seriously considering getting that. It's an investment. Yeah. Decisions. So we'll see. We'll see what I'm going to do. I was hoping to do it before the end of the year. Thought maybe if, crypto really kind of took off, then sell some crypto and then buy some stuff with it. All right, let me catch up. I've been trying to future-proof for PCIe 5. I mean, 2 of my 5090s are on PCIe 5. I'm on Minis Forum boards, but I don't really think it's necessary. Yes, it is future-proofing. It is. God, and I found something. It is future-proofing. It is. But I don't think you're getting any more for it right now. Yeah, 5.0 is freaking expensive, at least if you're going like epic route. That's for sure. Yes, I mean, I'm doing some PCIe 3.0 rentals. I mean, honestly, my workhorse is an 8 GPU 4090 rig on 8 PCI lanes. That's the same thing as PCIe with 16 lanes. And it just is rented consistently. As far as I can tell, it's the same renter on there. So that one, and then my Octo server has now been consistently rented. It's been good. But that one is on PCIe 4 16 lanes. So yeah. All right, let me heck yeah, it is got a 7960X system and it's bonkers dollars. Nice. It costs a lot, I think is what you're saying. I don't think you're renting it out for that much, but it costs a lot. And that's not even the Pro Threadripper platform. Yeah. Rizzo, I updated an i5 6500 to an i7 7700 in only a few hours of a job and a few days on salad. I know. Like I said, I have 2 that I did that to, although mine wasn't an i5. Mine was from like a Pentium, I think. Maybe a Celeron. One of the 2 was in there, so it was a significant upgrade for me. Hobbyist says, my Dell 5810 with 128 gig of memory and an RTX 3080 had its best day so far at $2.59 and $2.39 yesterday. Let's see where the Salad Network monitor says. Looking to see where the 3080 is. Oh, 3080 right now is a little bit higher up than the 3060. So I have 2 3060s with 32 gig of RAM, and I have one 3060 with 64 gig of RAM. And honestly, I haven't seen a big difference in how often they're rented. So I think 32 gig is fine. But yeah, you got lucky. You got lucky, hobbyist. Hello, Iota Pi. How are ya? Our prices are definitely going up with power plants giving deals to data centers and customers having to pay for those deals. Yeah, you're not wrong. Like I said, I'm working against the power, and figuring out ways to lower my power rate through hourly pricing, community solar, as well as changing from a air conditioner to a heat pump. So hopefully I can get it to where it's under 10 cents. That's my goal. And I'm looking to see kind of how things go with Clearway, but I'm this close to actually pulling the trigger with US Solar as well. So, and talking to them about how much more they can get for me. Because that'll, again, in essence, lower my power even more. The only thing about community solar, as it is with any solar, is you generate more than you need during the summer, so, and you bank that for the winter. So in the summer, your power bill's gonna be higher because you're generating more energy. It's just the way it works. So as long as you're okay with doing that, then that works really well. Right now, with the amount of solar that I have through community solar, I'm not generating enough during the summer to even cover my power, totally cover my power needs. It's close, but it isn't there. So yeah. Red Panda, good to see you, sir. Appreciate you being here. You missed me talking about the one chassis case. So I am I'm debating what to do, because I do want to expand. But yeah, have you gotten your 5090s yet, Red Panda? Yeah. Did you like my Yoda impersonation, Jackson Digital? It was really poor. Power. Let's see. I didn't get it yet. I do need to ask you some advice about working with them. So I don't think I sent the DM to you yet. I'm pretty sure I hadn't, but keep your eye out for it if you would. I want your input. Obviously, you're a much bigger channel than I am, but I would like to hear your opinion. Your mother sent you mine. You're not sending me yours. You don't want to spend 20K on it? You don't have to spend 20K on it. Actually, it probably is right about, well, you got 16 is, well, probably closer to 18 just for the GPUs if you're getting 5090s. Been parking them on Neptune, waiting to hit a block. Interesting. Panda can spam as much as he wants on this channel. He's the only one that can do it. Black Sales. Hey, as long as it adds to the conversation, I'm okay with that. Just as long as he's not putting the same thing over and over and over again. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. One thing I haven't looked at recently, in fact, let's take a look. Hash rate dot no. Let me change the other screen. Let's go to mining GPUs and sort by profit. Wow. That is pretty bad. Let's do Blackwell. There we go. If we look at 5090s, yeah, you're losing money. Losing money. What do I have my, and I think I have my power set at 10 cents. So yeah, there is not much. Interestingly enough, that's interesting. Beam is the one you lose the least amount on. Interesting. Very interesting. 5060, you can mine Flux at break even for now until they finally, and I'm waiting. Come on, Flux. I know everybody else is like, no, it's fine. I want to continue mining it while I still can. But no, I want them to change. I got nodes. I got nodes running on this thing. I want my node income to go up. I've also got a number of parallel assets that I'm looking to move over. And yeah, I'm not going to do that because it costs like right around like 200 Flux to move everything from parallel assets to native Flux. So it is not cheap to do. So I don't want to do it now only to have like, you know, dust left with just a few more parallel asset payouts. So waiting for that day to finally come and then hit the button to move those over, and then maybe even do another Cumulus node, because I will probably won't be quite there yet, but probably in another month after they make that change, I'll have enough to do another Cumulus node. I'll have to figure out where I'm going to put that. I'll probably put it on one of the computers that I currently still have that is running. I guarantee they're not running right now because I haven't checked them in like forever, but ETC POW, ETC MC, whatever. Yeah, I still have those. I have 2 out of the 3 that I had running. Yeah. Rest in peace, ETC pal. Actually, let's take a look. Let's see where CoinGecko it even comes up in my history. A half a cent. It's doing great. It was at let's see. About 1.2 cents. It's only lost 50%. I have about 4,000 of ETC POW. So not that much. And it certainly ain't worth much now. So between this one and Neoxa, oh my lord. Neoxa, even with other things going up, it's been going down. So I'll ride both of these to the bottom. There's just no point in cashing out on them unless they like suddenly skyrocket, and then maybe I'll cash out. But you know, with how little they're worth, I have like I have like 1.38 million Neoxa, and it's worth a couple $100. Not worth much, that's for sure. I have 9 ETCMC nodes offline the past like 10 months. LOL. Do they? So you still have them set up as ETCMC nodes? Like they're sitting there, they're just off. But yeah, I took one of them and actually made it a backup NAS. So I have 2 NASs at home, both of them on Unraid. And yeah, I'm jealous of all the other YouTubers that are getting like actual NAS chassis. Like, oh, those look like so much fun to play with. Adrian the Great, good to see you. Is it time to get back into mining? No, it does not appear so. Let's go back to here. And let's just go back to all architectures. That does not look like a good time. 4080s. Okay, you can be positive 12 cents a day. That floats your boat. CMP 170HX. You know, Panda's rich, man. He's got a lot of these, and they're making 11 cents a day. 11 cents a day. Only take 3.5 years to pay off. Something like that, maybe. Even that. 5080s, you're making 4 cents a day. 3070, you're making 3 cents a day. This is all based upon 10 cents. 10 cents power. I mean, there aren't too many of us that still have 10 cents power. I'm not even sure I do, because man, we had a bunch of hourly rates skyrocket. Now, that doesn't always mean that the average is that much affected, but I'll be curious to see when ComEd eventually decides that it doesn't want to continue to give me free power and actually sends me a bill. I'll be interested to see what my actual bill will be versus the standard rate. I know it'll be under it still. The question is how far under it. Back in June and July, holy crap, was huge amounts of money that I was saving on hourly. Last couple of months, it's been a bit less. So we'll see. Adrian the Great, when you have time, can you look into the NVIDIA DGX Spark that is coming out later this month? How we make it go burr. Yeah, I don't know. I've been kind of wondering, like, how do you... It's an AI box. Why can't we put it out on any of these platforms to be rented? I haven't really looked for any buzz. Let me just check. Let's just do Spark. Let's see. All right, so one says we aim to add most major. Oh, interesting. We aim to add most major NVIDIA hardware to our platforms and are currently looking into these. DGX Spark, I am very excited about. Would love to hear if your hosts own or plan on owning these machines. This is from a user. And that was posted this morning? No. September. Okay, hold on. Oh, I see. Somebody put in as a feature request to support Jetson AGX, Jetson Thor, and DGX Spark. So I don't know. We'll see. Somebody put in the feature request. Let me see if there's any other comments. This was back on 8/20. So it says, yeah, anyone know if Vast will be supporting the DGX Spark? You can ask them on live chat, meaning on the website. Let's see, who was it that asked? It was that person. Let me see if he ever came back. And he did not. So there doesn't look like there's been too much discussion about it yet. But yeah, there's been a little bit. Obviously, like I said, there's been a request, a feature request to support it. So we'll see. Let's see. If you aren't making more than 50 cents a GPU, it's not worth it. I don't disagree with you. Everybody's number, I think, is different. Black sales, 5 cents, you mean? Adrian the Great, I've looked, nothing yet, plus $4,000 per unit. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna have a huge demand, I wouldn't think, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It's $4,000 per unit, and you got 59ers are like 2,300, but it has a lot more. I don't know. I don't actually remember the actual specs of it, so maybe it's kind of in between a DGX. I'm not a DGX, RTX Pro 6000 and 5090. Maybe it's somewhere in between as far as specs. I don't know. Iota Pi says, my GPUs have been off for 3 months now. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you guys know what I'm doing with mine, but usually if it's profitable, I will have them mining when they aren't doing any compute work. So this winter, I might start doing that again just to generate more heat. Because a lot of the time when they're rented, but they're not doing anything. Yeah, like right now, my, let's see. I take that back. Both my Octo server and my 8x4090 rig are actually working right now. I don't know what they're doing, but I can tell by the temps that they are working. My one 4090 rig is 36C. It's not doing anything. The other ones are kind of in between. I'm pretty sure one of my 5060 Ti's isn't, or two of my 5060 Ti's aren't doing anything because they're at 37C. But my other ones are like at 48, 49. So I think they're actually doing something, but it's probably a low power job. My 13090 is at 67C. That's the one behind me. And I have a 15090 that is rented now. It started today. And that one's only a 31C. So it doesn't appear to be actually rented. And then my 23090 rig is rented, both of them, and the highest temp on that is 62, so it must be running a low power job as well. So yeah, All right, let's see what. Oh, no more comments. No more comments. Let me see. What else did I say I was going to talk about tonight? That might have been it. I have been talking for over an hour. I usually go maybe hour 15, maybe an hour and a half. Occasionally go 2 hours. Oh, I did have one other thing I was going to talk about. The other thing I looked at, so Saturdays for me is all about going down the rabbit hole. I go through all the channels I've subscribed. I scroll through and see what topics I'm interested in. You can definitely tell today, Goat put out his video. Raid Owl put out his video on the same exact Ugreen NAS. But both of them took a little bit different tact. One thing that was okay. So one thing, Goat didn't go over this in his video, but Raid Owl did, and I was like, "That's cool." So within the Ugreen software, they have the built-in ability, if you have two Ugreen NASs, of just literally setting a feature and saying, "Yep, I want to be able to talk to a remote." And I think you have to set it on both sides, but then you can set this up anywhere and it will work through the Ugreen servers and they will set up the tunnel for you. I was like, as long as you trust Ugreen to do that and to not steal your data, that's a cool feature, because it's not that hard to do. I am going to do it via Tailscale. I've already set up a few things with Tailscale for remote. And eventually I will do that with my NAS, but yeah, I thought that was a really cool feature to include on a low priced, compact NAS. I thought that was so cool. So that was the highlight of watching those NAS videos. But the other thing I happened to come across today was, and this has been something I've been thinking about. As you know, my father passed away, and he has some pre-tax and some post-tax. When you inherit some pre-tax stuff, inherit an IRA, you have to take it over 10 years. I don't have to take anything in the year of his death. The 10 years starts the year after. And as long as he has pulled out his required withdrawal, required minimum withdrawal, RMDs, then I won't have to do that. So he had already done that before he had passed away. So we're good there. But it made me start to think of, like, if I've got everything in pre-tax, but I'm in a low tax bracket, shouldn't I be like taking some of that as income now to maximize my low tax bracket? And so that is what I'm going to be looking to do. And I came across this video that used some software that I was like, and again, this is not, I'm not going to go into it, but they use some software where you can plug in your situation, your numbers, all that kind of stuff, and it can help you plan for making smart decisions. It was pretty clear though, if you are still in the 12% tax bracket, which I am, then the best thing for you to do is to maximize your 12% tax bracket. Go all the way up to that tax bracket. But one thing I found interesting, and that's what's changing this year, is you used to think, okay, capital gains, go all the way up to the 12% tax bracket. No. There's a little bit of difference, about $1,000 difference. So you can't go all the way up to the 12% tax bracket. Otherwise, you will trigger the 15% capital, long-term capital gains tax as opposed to 0. So this year, my plan is to tax gain harvest as much as I can up to that limit. And then if I've got any losses that I need to take against those gains, to take that into account. Like, I might sell some of the ETC POW since I've lost so much on it, just to take that against the gains, so I can take as many gains. And then the good thing about, at least currently, there isn't a wash rule with crypto, meaning that you can sell and rebuy the exact same crypto right after it. That's called a wash. You know, if you're doing that just to do tax harvesting with stocks, you can't do that. You gotta invest in something different for 30 days, and then you can go back into what you originally invested in, and still be able to harvest the tax. Again, not a tax guy, but it's just something that I was looking at today and thinking about as I'm hoping I'm within 10 years of retirement, and something that I need to be thinking about planning, especially over the next few years, to make sure that, and he went over an example, which I thought this was pretty interesting. He was like, so obviously you're going to continue to make more and more money, because hopefully your investments continue to grow, and then you're going to have higher and higher RMDs, required minimum distributions. So the idea is that to try to at least move some of that pre-tax investment into post-tax investment. So doing like a Roth conversion, for example. So yeah, that's, that was a lot of what I was looking at today. Went down that rabbit hole earlier today. Let's see. I probably put a bunch of you guys to sleep. Amir Zeb, what do you suggest to a newbie entering into mining? Is it worth it? Currently, I would say not really worth it, as far as an income. If you want to do it as a hobby because you like hardware and such, go for it. Just don't, it doesn't, at that point, it doesn't matter how much you spend. Just get some hardware and do some mining with it. That's my suggestion at this point. We were just going over the numbers. Well, they're still on the screen. So maximum amount is 12 cents with a 4080. 4080 still aren't cheap. They're definitely not cheap. You probably want to try to get like, I don't know, probably 3000 series. You can probably get some 3000 series relatively cheap. I built some salad rigs for that probably I could build for easily like $400 or $500, but it's not as cheap as it used to be. The only thing is, look for used hardware. Hopefully miners will be starting to sell all their hardware. I know they have been over time, but now mining is so bad. And crypto's going up. It should be getting better, and I just don't see it. I just don't think it's hit the proof of work coins yet. And actually, let's take a look at where the market is. I know it's kind of taking a rest. It's interesting. I think like Saturday night, especially, it seems to kind of relax and okay, there's a little bit of selling going on, but not a lot of buying. Volume doesn't tend to be as high. So right now I've seen Bitcoin kind of just, hey, it's 122.5. I got no problems with that. Like to see it go higher, but hey, it's a heck of a lot higher than it was a week ago. It was 12% higher to be exact. Same with Ethereum. So I know I look at my crypto balances and I'm like, yeah, those are some nice balances. I mean, I don't have as much as Panda does, but but it doesn't hurt. That's for sure. That's for sure. Let's take a look to see what else we got going on here. Let me go back to my headshot first, and so I can log in, so I can just go to the ones I want to go to. It should do it. And then watch list. There we go. Now let me go back. All right. So like I said, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana has been up 13%. So right now we've kind of been seeing like the top. I mean, let's see what's been up. You start getting like top 50, even beyond a little bit. I'm trying to see Pancake Swap up 30. Well, Pancake Swap I saw was hit pretty hard. But it says it's up 36% for the week. So it's pretty volatile. Flux is up 4.5%. Still at only 19 cents though. And Demos at 5.8 cents, up 8.3%. So I guess when you look at the last 7 days, a lot of stuff is up. Wow, Octaspace is up over 50 cents. That's nice. That's been, you know, derping around between 40 and 50 cents for quite a while. So to see that up over 50 cents is nice to see. Vertcoin up 23%. Dynex, I've seen that. Dynex up 31%. I'll never see my 500 Dynex that I had ever again. Thank you, Trade Ogre. And Canadian government that stole my Dynex. Yeah, Canadian government, you stole my Dynex. And no, it was not money laundering. Ugh. Anyway, pre-search, wow, that's down. Although it had been doing, I thought it had been doing pretty well, but wow, that certainly took a dip. I'm still running my pre-search nodes, got 3 of them. Well, I haven't looked at them recently. Should probably look, because every so often one of them dies and I have to like reset. Let's see, is this the screen? It's making me log in. I hate CAPTCHAs. One doesn't go anywhere. All right. Oh, I hate this. Then you gotta go and makes you go to the node. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. I knew it was at the bottom. Just wasn't seeing it. And then dashboard. There we go. Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, no, it is off. One is off. All right, let's move that one. That always bugs me why it does that. Yep, there it is. It's so strange though, because it's like that's the one I had it on before. Oh, I take it back. No, that's a different one. There's one below it that was on before. All right, so I need to go into there. Nope, that's not what I wanted. That's definitely not what I wanted. Why is it? Wow, they've changed this. Oh, I see. You got to click on the edit now. Whatever. All right. Let me here. I'll actually, because I don't think there's anything here. Let me move this up here so you guys can see what I'm doing. This is what I got to do every so often. So let me go back and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So typically I have it on online, and then it shows me here's the stake. This one's 0, meaning that it changed and didn't move the stake, unfortunately. So then I got to change to, I changed to active. This has been over 7 days because it doesn't change. So been a while since I've been in here. So I need to go into here, unstake this, go to 0. Whenever I do this, so that's been updated. Then whenever I do this, I claim what's there so that I can then stake that amount as well. So available to stake. Let's see when that other, waiting for the other 60 or other 200 or so to get in there. Usually it takes like a minute or less. Come on. Come on. Click claim twice. See what happens. Come on. Finally. There we go. So now I got 6212. And then I come down here to this one. and then say 6212 and update. So I need to check it more often than I do, but not making a ton on it. But it's kind of one of those projects like, I'll support the project. So you think about it, I've got a total of, oh, hang on. There we go. 14,739 pre. It's 4,000 minimum per node. So if I get up to 16,000, I could deploy another node, but 14,000 times like half a cent. So 1 cent would be 147. I've got like $75 worth, something like that. So nothing big, nothing to write home about, unfortunately. Yeah, half a cent. So, but hey, it's something. It's better than zero, I suppose. Let's see, in the Oxa, oh my Lord. This is just miserable. Just miserable. But I think I'm actually making more Neoxa because people are dropping off like flies. Technically, S-Chain, I don't know if that could be considered a loss because it's considered like a lost asset. So, and I don't know. I haven't looked into it technically, but I think I've heard other people mention when I've looked at this before that a lost asset cannot be considered like a trading loss. But whatever. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing there. Let's see what else. Anything else? Render is at 3.5, up a little bit this week. Filecoin's up 6%. It was up a lot more and it dropped back down. You can see right there, it peaked out there and then dropped back down. A lot of these cryptos did hit that peak and then drop back down, where you can see a lot of these top cryptos went up and then stayed level. And it seems like the lower the coin went, the lower, or as far as the market cap, the more that happened. Although it's interesting, if you look at Litecoin is up 2.35%, 2.5% today. And you can definitely see that in the price, and you can see that in the chart. So that's kind of interesting. It's kind of breaking the trend just a bit. Polkadot's still at a pretty good price. I was buying it at like 3.7 and selling it at 4. I did that round trip a couple of times. But BitTensor, I still owe some of that, and that's still not a great price. I might be at a slight loss on that. But I think it'll go back up. Right now, all the attention is on probably like top 20 or so. That's I think where most of the attention is. Let me go back to the full list. There's one. Does anybody know anything about Hyperliquid? I know nothing about this coin, but yet it is 11th in market cap. I feel like it came out of nowhere. Do any of you know anything about that? Anyone? Bueller? I'd be curious. I would be very, very curious. Alrighty. Well, I have been going an hour and a half, and I think I am going to call it a night. And oh, one more thing. So back to the car for a second. Right before we did this, right before I went live, I'd gone out to dinner with my wife. I had ordered some things earlier. It was a garage remote that I had ordered. And anyway, I needed the remote because we didn't have any remotes. We've been using my phone and using, my wife's got like a home link in her car. Well, I now have a home link in my car, which would be a lot nicer to use. So I was trying to program the home link button without an actual, you know, garage door remote, and that wasn't working. So then I'm like, okay, so let me program the remote. Let me use the remote to program the home link. I have no idea how I got it to work because it was not, I followed the instructions, wasn't working. I just kept hitting buttons until finally I was like, wait a minute, it's working. So, it was weird. It was really weird. Where, like I said, I had, my wife was hitting the learn button on the actual opener. I was hitting the home link button. It was responding because the light would flash, but yet it would not open and close it. And then I went back to doing it with the remote again, and then it started working. I don't know why, but whatever. It's working, and that's all that I care about, and I'll never change it. So as long as it doesn't screw up, it'll continue to work. So very happy that I was able to get that running. So that was another feature on this car. Nice to have just a quick button to push on the rearview mirror or somewhere in the car, instead of having to go into the app on the phone and wait for it to load and then finally hit it, because it's always like 30 to 45 seconds for the MyQ app to actually load and actually be able to activate it. But it's still nice to have if you're out for a walk or something and you want to open up the garage door, you can just pull your phone out. I have the aftermarket on it. It's not the one that's built into the unit. I have like one where I wired it to it and then have the Wi-Fi or the receiver close to the house. So anyway, that was the other thing I just did today. And like I said, next thing for the car is Tux mat at some point. The worst part about it actually is I ended up having to pay $170 for floor mats, not the you get the standard ones that come with it, but yet they want to sell you in a package floor mats and then wheel locks. I live in Mayberry. Nobody's stealing wheels in my area, and every time I have needed a wheel lock, or wheel lock key, I can't find it. So no thank you to wheel locks. So I made sure that they took any wheel locks off the wheel, that they were just standard lug nuts. So they did do that. But it just bugs me that I've got these wheel locks that I had to pay $75 for, and these mats that I will not end up using because they're solid. They're nice mats, but they're low, and I want ones that cover up more to the side, and I don't want ones that like add accent. I want them to be black. So yeah. All right, let me see here. IRS theft losses are generally deductible in the year you discover the property was stolen, unless you have a reasonable prospect of recovery through a claim for reimbursement. Interesting. Because I don't know if technically it can be considered a theft loss. I call it a theft loss, no question. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. Thankfully, I only had like between $100 and $200 worth of crypto in there, so it's not a big deal. It's not really a big deal. John Germain said, my guess is that you pay tax on the income of coins on TradeOgre, and if you meet the minimum itemized deductions, you can credit your rate of the loss, say 22%. Yeah, I don't have, since my interest rate on my mortgage is so low, I don't have enough to claim enough itemized deductions to match what the standard deduction is. Mike Hill says, Vast has many thousands of GPUs for worldwide usage. We can be hopeful for more usages around the world. Hopeful. Yeah, I mean, I think that that's going to happen. The question is, where are corporations going to go? Are they going to go to Vast? Even universities, are they going to go to Vast, or where are they going to go? And that's the real key. How much can the different platforms gain market share for? So that's the key. John Germain says, none of us have enough to claim other than standard deduction. I bet if some people have, $400,000 mortgage at 6.5%, probably getting up there, especially if they're single. Yeah, there's definitely going to be people that do, but not a lot of people are using anything other than the standard deduction. I will tell you, there are retired people that can exceed. So like when my mom was passed away and I was doing my dad's taxes, he's single and he was in a unassisted retirement home. But because it's a retirement home, a whole big portion of his rent can be considered health insurance type thing. So it's a medical deduction. So he actually, not by much, but he did actually save a little bit more by going with an itemized deduction. The first year I did his taxes, it wasn't. It was a standard deduction. But the second and third year I did his taxes, and I know when I do his taxes this year, well, I don't know because it'll be over the full year, but he was in assisted living this year. He was in assisted living last year, which is why he exceeded it and actually used itemized deductions last year. But this year, I think because it's a partial year, probably won't. Because they don't take your standard deduction and say, oh, well, you're only alive for a certain portion of the year, therefore you only get a certain percentage of the standard deduction. At least not as I understand it. This will be the first time I do somebody's taxes who was only alive for a certain portion of the year. And I haven't done a ton of research into it, but my understanding up to this point was it doesn't matter how long you were in this world, just like when you were born. Your parents, if you were born December 31st at 11:59 p.m., you got the deduction for the entire year for that baby. That would be an accountant's baby. My son, on the other hand, was due January 3rd, and we were hoping for a December 31st baby, but that did not happen. He was actually born January 10th. Yeah, he didn't cooperate. So anyway, but that's going to be some things I'm going to have to really look at the beginning of next year, because I got to get my sister and brother their K1s for his investment returns, because basically I have to file his tax returns up until the date of his death. After the date of his death, any income that comes from his investments is now in the estate. So I have to do his taxes for the estate and then create K1s for all three of us, because that's going to be income we're going to have to claim on our taxes. Because basically an estate is a corporation, and corporations will put out bonus type stuff out in K1s. So yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, I lost everybody on talking about retirement. So I think it coincided with when I first started talking about retirement, and I lost about, 8 or 9 people. And now I started doing the same thing, and I lost like 10. So duly noted not to talk about retirement and taxes. But hey, I appreciate everybody that showed up tonight. Really appreciate it. And we'll continue on this path of doing it Saturday nights, because I enjoy having my Sundays off. And the intention is to get to the point where I'm starting to create some content on Sundays. Right now, I'm kind of, I know what I want to create content about, but it's not time yet. And that's like what I'm dying to make content on. But gotta wait until ComEd gets their act together, Clearway gets their act together, and then I will be able to make some content on that. I don't know, curious, would anybody be interested in actually having me walk through like how I made that web app? I was thinking about doing a video on that just because I thoroughly enjoyed the process. And I don't know. Let me know if you'd be interested in that in the comments, because most of you people are going to be watching it after the fact. So let me know what and for those people watching afterwards or now, let me know what kind of content you want to see from me. Because I'm not sure. Obviously, you guys come here for crypto stuff in general and GPU rental. And while GPU rental isn't doing horribly, it's still not like great right now. Not as good as it was, say, even like 10, 12 months ago. So, at any rate, alrighty, guys. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Hey, Brad Johnson, thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. Alrighty, guys. Thanks again. I appreciate it. And as always, no tabs were harmed in the making of this live stream. Have a good one, everybody.